They called you broken. Now they are the ones falling apart, watching your peace. They called you broken, but now they are the ones falling apart because your peace is proving they never had as much power over you as they thought. They wanted people to believe you were damaged. They wanted to make your pain look like weakness. They wanted to make your reaction look like proof that something was wrong with you. They called you broken because it was easier than admitting they were the ones who kept breaking your heart. They knew what they knew what they did behind closed doors. They knew how many times they ignored you when you needed clarity. When you needed clarity, they knew how many times they twisted your words, dismissed your feelings, and made you feel guilty for asking for basic respect. They knew the truth, but they still chose to label your pain instead of taking responsibility for causing it. For a while, their words affected you so deeply. You started wondering if maybe you really were too emotional. You started questioning whether your sadness made you weak. You started blaming yourself for the heaviness they placed on you. You started looking at your own wound like they were something to be ashamed of. That was the part of the manipulation. They wanted you to believe their version of you. They wanted you to see yourself through their cruelty. They wanted you to carry the name broken so they would not have to carry the guilt of what they did. If they could make you feel damaged, they could avoid admitting the damage they could avoid admitting they damaged you. So they talked. They acted calm while you were hurting. They told people you were unstable, difficult, too sensitive, or impossible to deal with. They made themselves look patient, as if they had survived you, when the truth was that you were the one surviving them. And because you were tired, you stayed quiet. You did not have the strength to explain every detail. You did not want to fight for your image in front of people who did not know the whole story. The whole story. You did not want to relieve the pain just to prove that you were not the person they described. You chose silence because your heart needed protection. But silence gave you something they did not expect. It gave you it gave you space to heal. It gave you room to think clearly. It gave you time to stop reacting from people. To stop reacting from the place they kept hurting. It gave you the strength to finally separate your identity from the way they treated you. Slowly, you started coming back to yourself. You stopped believing every cruel thing they said. You stopped carrying guilt that did not belong to you. You stopped apologizing for having feelings. You stopped confusing your pain with weakness. You realized that being hurt did not mean you were broken. It meant something real had wounded you. It meant you had cared deeply. It meant you had stayed too long in a place where your heart was not being handled with respect. That realization changed you. You started choosing peace over explanation. You started choosing distance over confusion. You started choosing healing over chasing someone who kept reopening the wound. You started choosing yourself in small ways that became strong every day. And now they can see it. They see that you are calmer. They see that you are not begging anymore. They see that you are not reacting to the things they once would have pulled you apart. They see that the person they called broken is standing with more self-respect than before. And that is what is making them fall apart. Because your peace does not support their story. Your peace does not make you look unstable. Your peace does not make you look weak. Your peace makes their behavior look cruel. Now, they have to watch you live without the emotional chaos they used to create. They have to watch you smile without needing their apology. They have to watch you rebuild without asking them for permission. They have to watch you become proof that their words did not define you. And that embarrassed them. They expected you to stay wounded. They expected you to stay confused. They expected you to keep defending yourself until people believe their version. They expected your pain to remain visible so they could keep calling you broken. But your healing changed the whole story. Now people can see the difference between someone who is peaceful and someone who keeps trying to disturb that peace. That they can see that you are no longer participating in the drama. They can see that you are becoming lighter while the person who called you broken still looks angry, bitter, and unsettled. That is the exposure. They thought your wounds would hide the truth. Instead, your healing revealed it. They thought calling you broken would make them look stronger. Instead, it made them look insecure because they still need to explain why your peace bothered them so much. Now, they may try to provoke you again. They may say something indirect. They may act like your calmness is fake. They may try to pull you into an argument so they can feel powerful again. But the old version of you is no longer available. You no longer feel the need to prove your peace to someone who benefited from your pain. You no longer feel the need to defend your healing to someone who caused the wound. You no longer feel the need to answer every insult when it's with an explanation. You have learned that not every accusation deserves access to your energy, and that is why they are losing control. They cannot reach the person who used to cry for their approval. They cannot control the person who has stopped believing their labels. They cannot manipulate the person who now understands the difference between being hurt and being broken. They cannot shame the person who has finally chosen peace. Now, they are the ones falling apart in silence. They are falling apart because your peace is not a performance. They are falling apart because your calmness is real. They are falling apart because the person they tried to define has started defining him herself again. They are falling apart because your healing is making their cruelty impossible to hide. They called you they called you broken because they wanted your pain to become your identity. But you refused. You healed quietly. You grew stronger. You found peace in places they thought would always carry their shadow. You became someone they can no longer reduce with one cruel label. They started, they called you broken, but now they are the ones falling apart watching your peace because every calm step you take proves they failed to destroy the person they tried so hard to damage. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time coming across this face, I am Alice. Kindly subscribe to this channel, like, comment, share, and hit the notification bell so that anytime I get to post a new video, you would be the first person to see. To my returning subscribers, you know my heart. I love you all so much. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. See you